Hello, everybody. This is
Hey,
Table Talk Thursday with excuse me. I call him Joshua Levi because I think that's so cool. Joshua Levi. He does absolutely everything at. Right now it's SRP Unerased, but we got a surprise for you guys coming up soon. Stay tuned. So Levi, tell us what you do and who you are and what's going on.
So I am Joshua Levi. Depending on when you met me in life is probably how you call me. I go by both though, so you don't have to use one or the other. I would describe myself as a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
My first passion has always been like reading and writing. So that's kind of carried me throughout life this far. With SRP though, I am the webmaster, content writer, podcast uploader, any and everything that
everything we ask
happened. Yeah, so I've been
because you're so versed in everything.
Right. I've been with the project a little over since maybe last April or May, but I've worked with a lot of people from SRP for the last like 3 or 4 years. So
yeah. Hey, Alyssa. I see Alyssa there.
Hey.
So I am so happy that you're on today because, again, you do so much at SRP right now, but you also do a lot of things outside of SRP. Can you tell us what you do outside of SRP?
Mm-hmm. So by day, I am the communications manager at a nonprofit that focuses on anti-racist policy for kids. So we work a lot with, our goal is to dismantle the child welfare system and really get money and resources back into communities so that people can stay with their families and we don't have to be so dependent on the foster care system. Other than that, I also edit blogs for friends. I write fiction. I write short stories.
I was going to say, you better say you write too, because you write.
I'm working on a screenplay now for a series with one of my closest friends that's going to be about Black queer people, queer life, that's loosely based in reality.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, so
that sounds exciting.
I'm excited about it, intimidated, but excited.
I have to say hi to Chase. Hi, Chase. She's like my number one supporter, my daughter.
Oh.
She says our lighting is like so great. It's so critical. Chase Imani. So I want to go back to SRP and what you do there. How do you come up with like the content that you find for us?
I think it's not that hard for me because it's content I'm already interested in. Mm-hmm. So what I love about SRP is that we celebrate Black women, and women in general, but specifically Black women, have been really instrumental in my life and continue to be. Most of my closest friends are Black women. I'm a 100% mama's boy. So when I think about the content that I can pull for the website, I just think about the things that my friends do and what they would like. So I'm really interested in like Black art, and then also just issues that we're most interested in.
Yeah.
Whether that be reparations, whether that be talking about like healthcare disparities. This is stuff I'm consuming anyway.
Right.
Which is why I like working in these spaces, because though sometimes it still feels like work, it's not hard for me to think about because my brain is already wired to think this way.
Yeah. I know like on our meetings, it's just like so easy. And with you, when we ask a question, you're automatically like on it, or you're really quick with like researching. Like we can be talking about something and Levi will be like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm like, he's so quick with it. Either you already know about it or you know where to find it. It's just amazing that you have that tenacity to like, read up on things and already be ahead of what we may not know about prior to our meetings, which is really refreshing too. You mentioned art. So you do a lot of the artwork on our website, and it's amazing art that you find. Where do you find the art, and why are you so interested in art?
So where do I find it? I go to Instagram for a lot. I go to Etsy for a lot. I go to Pinterest for a lot. And I think it's because I just can't afford to be an art collector right now. So I save a lot to my to my
Right.
computer and change out my home screen on my cell phone all the time. And but what got me interested in it is honestly, and this probably sounds like a kind of a corny answer, but I remember like how much I paid attention to the artwork in the Cosby Show when I was a little kid.
Wasn't it great art though?
It was great art. Like there are a lot of scenes and quotes I remember from the show, but if I could boil it down to anything, like that's when I first started saying, I want to have a brownstone like this one day.
Okay.
And two, I want it to be full of just like this really exquisite like Black art that does anything. I remember the I actually think it's called the funeral procession. Like the Black people walking like across and then they're going up.
Yes.
And that was in the show, and then my parents had a copy of it too. I'm sure it wasn't an original, but I was like, "Oh, look at me, we're just like them." So I can have art like these people have on TV. So now, just looking at the website, whenever I'm pulling content together, I always want it to be really visually appealing. And what's click on something, and I think a lot of times you can trick people into listening to a conversation.
Yeah.
If you have something really easy for them first. So like give them a soundbite, give them a song, give them a pretty picture, and then let's talk about the maternal health crisis. You didn't know that's where we were going to bring you.
Exactly. When you look at the picture, you're like, oh, this is gorgeous. Let me see what that's about. And then you're like, okay, let me read about it. Okay, well, let me hear about it. Like, so you're definitely right. The art that you pick and choose draws me in as well even as a colleague. Like when you post stuff, I'm like, this definitely goes with what we're actually talking about. And like you said, you can trick people into like listening to the whole thing. So what else can we say about Mr. Joshua Levi? Where did you learn how to like upload and do all of like the websites and like all of those ins and outs of like websites and podcasts and social media and things like that?
Honestly, it's because of years, and I don't really do this anymore because now I actually have the skill set, but definitely like high school, college, and like first couple of jobs, overselling myself.
Yeah.
Because there's not anything I truly believe I can't do or I can't figure out.
Exactly.
So I think YouTube University, telling somebody that I know how to do it and they get done within the next hour, so I got an hour to teach myself. Like that's where a lot of that comes from. And I enjoy playing around with different platforms. Like I know WordPress people hate because it's so clunky.
It's so funky.
Funky, but it's like a puzzle. And I like puzzles. So I don't know, I feel accomplished knowing that that not that other people can't do what I do, but that other people don't want to spend the time to figure it out.
Right.
So that's always just kind of been me. And then on the PR side of things, I've always worked in communications. Even before I graduated, like looking at the internships I had. And that's just, to me, a part of being in comms. Like you're how to run a website. Eventually, you're going to have to know how to produce a podcast or some type of show or program. You got to know event planning.
Right.
Because you never know what's going to be needed.
Hi, Alexis, Taylor Alexis. She was on our Table Talk Thursday last week. She's an amazing filmmaker. Thank you for joining us. We are going to do a live again, Taylor Alexis, soon, because she was so amazing. So now outside of SRP and what you do at your job, what are your likes and dislikes? Like, what are you interested in?
Ooh, like, what am I doing when I'm not at work?
Yeah.
Likes? I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, I'm in my head a lot. So some of my favorites right now are, I like You're Wrong About, because it probably sounds boring, but I like news and like historical
history. Yeah.
Yeah, so You're Wrong About is a good one. I listen to The Read all the time because I want to know more about pop culture. I listen to Hours, of course, SRP Unerased on all major platforms.
Oh, shameless plug.
Shameless.
SRP Unerased on all social media streaming platforms.
Yeah, I read a lot. If it wasn't set up like this, I would pan to my bookshelf because I'm in the middle of a million books. So I always have a book around me. I listen to a lot of music, and I've lately I've been obsessed with Tinashe's new album.
Oh,
Yeah, love it. I'm a Tinashe stan, so I'm going to see her in October here in DC. And then who else am I listening to right now? I'm listening to Isaiah Rashad's new album. I love that.
okay.
And yeah, and then I watch a lot of TV. So like today, even while working, I always have something on in the background. So I watched Drag Race today. I also watched The Good Fight. Any drama I'm going to watch. Yeah, so that's...
I always find I get distracted if I put the TV on, so I cannot put it on at all.
See, I can work with the TV on. I cannot work with music.
Now I can work with music on.
But
then I start singing, so then that's the thing. Can you tell us what might be coming up for SRP Unerased, so we can let our viewers know to like continue to follow us? You know, we have a lot of interesting things coming up. So can you speak to that?
Yeah, our latest podcast trilogy, the episode 14 just released. It was on preconception health. It came out last Wednesday. The next episode will be up, I think, early next week. So look for it. We're going to start promoting that on social media. Two of the, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say a little bit, of big changes we're looking at is one, we're getting ready to unveil a project that really focuses on the lack of representation for Black boomer women in media.
Yeah.
Y'all will learn a lot more about that in the coming weeks, but we're super excited about that and really hope that that's going to change the faces that we see on primetime news television.
Yeah.
And then what else do we have coming up? We have
we have a lot of changes coming up as well.
We have
I think people are going to really like the changes that we're working on too. So, and it's going to draw not just one set of genre or demographic of people. It's going to encompass everyone. So, I think
what I love about this initiative or campaign really that SRP is and is becoming, because in the beginning, it really was about just celebrating or uplifting the untold stories of like Black suffragettes.
Yes.
And of course, that was timely because at the time it was the centennial of the 19th Amendment. But I love how we've just morphed and continue to morph, because we went from that to saying, okay, well, women have the right to vote, and now we have a Black woman vice president. So we're a space that celebrates voting rights,
right?
Celebrates grassroots community change, and now it's like, you know what? We do everything.
We do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And some are acknowledged and some aren't. And so those who aren't, we want to put like them in the forefront as well. Mm-hmm. So, or not even acknowledged. They are acknowledged, and then their timeline is like cut off. Like, okay, you did great during this period of time. Let's look out for the next generation. But there are still women who are doing the thing out there who are older that do not get the recognition they deserve. So
it's honestly because I think a lot of people think that history is something that is stagnant, and that of course you can learn from it, but it is something that happened in a box of time and don't realize, like, you can't put time constraints around.
Yeah.
Way, like, we're constantly having a conversation with the past, and I like that that's how we kind of try to wed things together. Like, we can in one sentence talk about something that happened in 1925 and then also tie it to something that happened
exactly
last summer. It's like protests about Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, because I don't know, history is just what we're doing right now. Like, we're in the present, but we're also someone else's past.
Exactly, and we stand on the shoulders of those from the past. So, and I also see that history repeats itself.
Yeah.
We just kind of navigate it differently a little bit.
It's the same script. Players.
Yeah. So I think that our time is up, 6:15.
Oh, it's already 6:15?
So we can talk, we can talk all night about everything. We have a good time. I'm glad that I'm a part of your team. Working together with you has been really fun, and I can't wait to see what we do in the upcoming weeks and days and months. So thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely going to have you on again next month.
Yeah, you got to have me back. I got more to say.
Oh, of course. Of course. Again, I am Mashiba King from SRP Unerased. This is Joshua Levi. He is a colleague of mine, and he does amazing work as far as web content. He is a history buff, an art buff. He knows like almost everything, and he does almost everything. So thank you again for coming on, and I will talk to you again soon.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.